Three Demons, Book 2, Chapter 9, Needing a Favor. As Randy finishes grabbing the few things he needs to go after Kazuto, Asuka comes into his room, having chased after him from the clubhouse. Are you really going to find Kazuto? By yourself? Asuka asked, very concerned for the safety of both Randy and Kazuto. Yeah. Randy responds to her very quickly, finally finishing up and looking at her face to face. Asuka begins to look saddened by his response to her. Randy attempts to reassure her by patting her on the head. Everything will be okay, I promise. Asuka then thinks back to the clubhouse and seeing Randy acting out of anger. It makes her think back to the battle between lords, where Randy had lost control of himself, going to the point of beating Mochi to near death and even turning his intentions of attack towards herself and Ria. Asuka begins crying, catching Randy completely off guard. I'm sorry. I can't stand to see you hurt anymore. Ever since the day we met, that's all you've done is put your life on the line, for all of us. Even if it meant you could die, I couldn't stand it anymore. Asuka tries to wipe the tears from her face, but more tears keep flowing. Randy just looks at her, not really knowing what to do. Hug her, you dumb fuck. Joseph screams out at Randy in the subconscious. Randy hesitantly does what Joseph tells him to do, placing his hand behind Asuka's head and pulling her close to him, letting her let out her emotions as he stands there processing everything. Randy, one day you'll learn what love does to people. Joseph tells Randy, causing him to blush bright red. What the hell's that supposed to mean? How does that even relate to the situation? Randy responds to Joseph, trying to deny what's really going on here. Asuka finally speaks up. I know there isn't anything I can do to stop you, but please, let me come with you, just so I know that you're safe. Randy sighs and thinks about what he was just asked, before finally answering. Okay, Asuka. Let's do it. Asuka looks up with a surprised look on her face as Randy wipes away her tears and begins walking out of his bedroom door. Come on, we gotta get out of here before Ria catches us. Randy tells her, waving his hand in a motion telling her to follow him. Randy, if she gets hurt, I'm going to kill you. Jake threatens Randy, but gets no response in return. Randy and Asuka begin heading down the street, making their way downtown, thinking Kazuto would head there, seeing that's where he lives. As the two pass a bus stop bench, Joseph speaks up with the subconscious. Hey guys, we're being followed. How the hell did... Jake attempts to ask how Joseph knows that before Joseph screams out, I know who it is! Alter switch to Joseph. Joseph stops and turns around and points at a corner from the fence along the street. I know you're there, best friend! Kitsune then walks out from behind the corner. Impressive. I didn't think someone throw a box of rocks for a brain could tell I was following them. Joseph laughs proudly. Very funny, best friend. Nothing can get past me. Asuka hides behind Joseph. Why were you following us anyway? She asks Kitsune, hoping she wasn't there on Ria's orders. Well, I wasn't trying to follow you, but the dumbass heard me coming before I knew where y'all went to. Kitsune reveals, being cut off by Joseph. Like I said, nothing gets past me. Kitsune then rams her fist into Joseph's abdomen, causing him to kneel over and leaving Asuka panicked. As I was saying, I agree with what you said back there, you hothead. I also want to go help Kazuto, regardless of the consequences. Kitsune continues as Joseph huddles over in pain. She calls me the hothead, Joseph says in the subconscious. You shouldn't have interrupted her, you dumbass. Jake responds to Joseph, resulting in Joseph feeling defeated. I have an idea for what we should do, but we can't do it now. Come to my place and we'll plan for tomorrow. Kitsune tells the two. Thank whichever god has granted me this opportunity to be inside a hot chick's home. Jake mockingly prays as Randy and Joseph both blankly and judgingly look at him. As Kitsune was walking away, she turns back to Joseph and glares at him. Herb. Joseph just looks dejected. I didn't even do anything. Alter switch to Randy. Randy and Asuka arrive at Kitsune's home, a small studio apartment with barely anything in it. Kitsune stops and looks at Randy. You stay here. I don't trust you not to do anything pervy, you creep. Kitsune insults Randy as he just looks at her with a blank expression. Kitsune, I promise, he really isn't anything like that. Asuka tells her, attempting to change her opinion of him. Kitsune just ignores her pleas as Randy sits down on the floor and against a wall. Asuka just looks down at him with a concerned look on her face. It's fine. This isn't the worst sleeping arrangements I've had in my life. Randy tells Asuka as she follows Kitsune into a bedroom. The following morning, Kitsune punts Randy across the floor to wake him up. Wake up, it's time to go. Alter switched to Joseph. Damn it! I'm not used to being out this early. Who the hell wakes someone up like that? Joseph complains loudly as Asuka comes in to check on him. The three then leave Kitsune's home and make their way to a small park where Kitsune has grabbed herself an ice cream cone. So, why are we here at a park? Are we waiting on someone? Asuka asks. Something like that. I called someone needing a favor. Kitsune reveals to the group. Why do I feel like she threatened them instead? Randy asks in the subconscious. Do not degrade best friend's name like that. Joseph hollers at Randy for even making the claim in the first place. Everyone then looks forward as Cello begins walking towards them, his knees visibly shaking. I don't know why the hell you want me to help. Lady Luna's going to freaking kill me. What was that you were saying, Joseph? Jake mockingly asked Joseph as he uses his time stop to dodge a punch from Joseph. She seriously asked the cello that guy? Randy asks himself as Joseph lands a punch on him as well, but it doesn't affect Randy in any way. Oh, be quiet. Your ability will be really useful for us. Kitsune tells Cello as he remains unconvinced. Look, this isn't my company's problem. I only agreed to help y'all with the kit. Cello begins rambling and making excuses until Kitsune lands a punch in his side, causing him to fall into the bench chair. Any minute now. Kitsune says loudly, causing Joseph to ask why she said those words. Then, as if it came out of nowhere, Ivy and Zyla both appear out of a dense forest-like field where it looks like Ivy is trying to convince Zyla to do something, but Zyla doesn't want anything to do with it. Then everyone on both sides just stop and look at each other. Everyone, besides Kitsune. Shocked that they each see each other so soon after their confrontation last night. No, I am not working with that blue-haired bitch, Jake yells out in the subconscious. Joseph doesn't respond because he kinda agrees, also not really wanting to work with either of the girls from the church. Ivy and Zyla both grab their weapons about to fight the four demons until Joseph steps in to break it up. Whoa, we're not here to fight. Well, what the fuck are y'all doing here? Joseph asks, pointing at the two. We take this path to get home, you ass, Ivy loudly answers back. Well, since you're in front of us, we might as well finish what we started yesterday. Zyla threateningly tells Joseph. This bitch never learns, Jake says, looking to take over the body, but Joseph is not letting him do so. Cello tries to sneak away, but Kitsune pinches his shirt and guides him back to the bench seat as she finishes her ice cream cone, before getting up herself. But she walks in between Joseph, Zyla, and Ivy. You guys live too close to me. They could smell the path you take. Kitsune tells the two as they look shocked that her sense of smell is that good. Wait, you can smell things good? That's so fucking cool. I should learn to do that. Joseph begins rambling before being put down by Kitsune. I need a favor from the two of you. Kitsune asks the two with a serious tone on her face as Asuka runs up to check on Joseph. Again. Why would we help a bunch of demons? We have our own business to take care of, Zyla tells Kitsune, trying to brush her request aside. Because the guy we are looking for has a similar goal to you. Kitsune reveals, lyingly, to the two as they begin to consider the idea. Wait, I thought Kazuto wanted Excalibur destroyed, Randy says to himself in the subconscious. Ivy sighs. Look, Zyla, we haven't been doing great with the job. We could really use the help. If they are willing to help us retrieve the rest of Excalibur, that is. Zyla grits her teeth and balls her fist. Fine, but if I see one hint of betrayal from y'all, I promise I will exorcise each of you. Zyla relents, agreeing to Kitsune's offer, but still threatens them. Good. Now I hope the crooks at the church didn't just send you on a wild goose chase, right? Kitsune asked the two, absolutely striking a nerve from them. Watch what you say. The church are some of the most noble people you will ever meet. Ivy snaps at Kitsune due to her verbal jab. Yeah, right, Joseph says under his breath, causing Asuka to freak out and cover his mouth in a panic. The church head priest gave us general locations for the remaining fragments. There's one here in town. The past few days we have been walking around, looking for any glimmer of supernatural awareness in people in hopes to find it. Xyla reveals to the group. She continues, the fragment in question is Trishula the Trident. End of Chapter 9.